Hey guys, Zoid Bergenstein here, covering the best non-broadcasted matches of this WGLNA season. Today we're looking at a match between the Cunninghams and Hammertime in Round 1 of WGLNA Season 4 Gold League. This match took place on Tuesday, December 9th, so if you want to go back and grab these replays or look at the results ahead of time, feel free to check that out on the WGLNA website. At this point in the season, neither team has wins or losses, so predicting who my favorite is tough. But let's look at the lineups and see what we can gather. Looking at Hammertime, they're running two 5100s, two IS3s, a Roomba, which you never used to see in competition, a KV3, and a T29. Keep in mind, this is the new 754 format. On the Cunninghams, on the other hand, we've got three 5100s, two IS3s, and two ISs. So the Cunninghams needing to attack have a much more aggressive lineup, while Hammertime has a very campy, very defensive lineup. We start out seeing both teams taking fairly standard sets. In almost every Himmelsdorf defense, you're going to see this northwest camp. It was a predominant strategy in 742, and there's no reason not to run it in 754. It gives you cover on the 1 cap, it gives you cover on the 2 cap, and what you're going to see most attacking teams do is try and punch a hole in the defense down that 5 line. The defense, however, knows that this is the current meta that most teams are running, so you can see they actually have 5, maybe 6 or 7 guns ready to shoot as soon as tanks are spotted there. If they can get those shells off into a tank, they're going to insta-gib anything they see. The Cunninghams, however, are not running that standard meta strategy that I was just talking about. They have a couple tanks running down the 0 line, a couple tanks running down the 8 line in Tank Alley, and still a couple other tanks running down that 6-7 line. It looks like what they want to try and do is get some spots with that tank that you see about to peek on the B line, that's Comps in the IS-3, and possibly take some shots from those 50s down the B-A line at the KV-3 in Cubbyhole. If they can execute this correctly, it could be very successful. It is very difficult, though, with that many tanks looking at this line. If Comps messes up or if one of those 50s extends itself, it's very possible they could be insta-gibbed. With Comps trying to get those spots, oh, and we do actually see this 5100s trying to cross over into A0. If they can get into that corner, that is going to open up shots on the tanks in A4. Shots go out at those 5100s, but they do miss. Comps is peeking out, and the 5100s are set up. Dodoma, and it looks like Germ are ready to shoot, and one shot goes into the 51 shot goes into the KV3. We do have 2 shots out, a 3rd shot into the KV3, and this is a significant HP advantage for the Cunninghams. A 4th shot goes into that KV3, and they are hurting over in that defensive area. The 5100s continuing to sling shells at the KV3. He does take one more hit, one more, and he's dead. Oh, and he gets a bounce. That's fantastic job by the KV3. They're staying alive, making those 50s waste a couple extra shots. That's 3 bounces he has now. He's going to back out 4 bounces. Great job by Nitz here, but he does finally go down to a 5100. Looks like Dodoma gets the kill, giving the Cunninghams a 1-tank tier 7 advantage. Even with that advantage, they're going to have to do something here to make sure they get this win. The defense has a huge advantage on Himmelsdorf, and they're really going to have to take advantage of this, get those 50s into reloads, and it looks like they're moving. The IS-3 moves in. He only takes 1 penetration, moves onto the cap. It sounds like he's tracked. I can't actually see it. And we have an all-out push coming from the Cunninghams onto this cap. If they can hide in this corner, they have a really solid chance of making Hammertime push into them, being able to push out enough damage onto the other team that they will get that win here. Looks like the Cunninghams are going to give up those cap points and instead posture. And a shot comes out from the Roomba. It does hit Comps, but it does not penetrate. And that could be huge for the Cunninghams. Bringing a Roomba can do a lot of damage if it lands its shots. If it doesn't get that damage in, it's a literal waste of a tank. We see Chireem moving back onto the cap, and he's going to be responsible for making Hammertime push into his team. All he needs to do is stay alive, get a couple shots out when he pushes in, and contribute to his team. If he can do that, it's going to be successful. We do see a 5100 from Commander J who's going to push in back and try and unload his clip. He gets a couple shots out. He does get shots in the leap set. He takes one himself, and an IS-3 is continuing to play with this 5100 in A4. The Cunninghams have really turned the tables on Hammertime. They're set up on cap. They're actually defending now. Hammertime is going to have to push into the Cunninghams and try and reset this cap or kill them out. They're being smart, though. They know that they don't have to recklessly push in and suicide all their tanks just to get that reset. The longer they can wait, the more reset points they can get, the better chance they have of either winning this firefight because they pushed in at an opportune moment, or possibly escaping a tank where there's no time for the Cunninghams to recap. It looks as though the 50 who was looking down the 3 line has backed off, and he's not going to be covering that. Normally, I would expect to see 1 tank there to make sure that the other team can't come around or to get shots as they try and push through, but it seems as though the Cunninghams are going to make this an all-in cap attempt. They're going to force Hammertime to push into them and have every single gun ready to insta-give any tank who comes around. with those extra 50s, they are going to have that explosive firepower that's going to be able to bring down a lot of tanks. They also have the tier 7 advantage, so it's going to be much more difficult for Hammertime with just the T-29 back there to sacrifice a tank that may not make as much of a difference. And it does look like the push is beginning. Militant gets a shot out in that 5100. Hammertime has to push around, get a shot in the entire room. They do get it. They get that reset. Overlord Prime taking a lot of damage, but Militant has taken a lot as well. And Hammertime has gotten the reset. They get 1 kill on Militant, doing a great job trading damage. They get a second kill on a 5100, but they lose a tank themselves. We have damage coming out all over the place, and we do have an even exchange of tanks here. 3 tanks are now dead on the Hammertime, 3 tanks dead on the Cunninghams. What a fantastic engage by both teams, and the Roomba lands a shot on the IS. He does end up taking a hit as he backs off, but good damage. Commander J coming around, gets the kill on the IS-3, takes 2 shots for 688 damage in return, and now we have a huge lead as we get 1 more kill coming out of the Cunninghams. 4-2 situation with a full strength 50 that can come in from behind. The Cunninghams have this unless they blow it. We're going to see if Drydens can get off another shot, but as long as that Roomba dies, the 5100 will be able to come in, clip out that T-29, and we're going to have a win for the Cunninghams in a very difficult map to win on offense. We do see Commander J pushing in. He's going to try and get that shot on the Roomba, take 1 shot maybe, but that's almost a guaranteed kill. Commander J does end up getting the Commander J goes down to Liebstad. Now we have an IS-3 and a 5100 with a full clip ready to take down that T-29, and round 1 is going to go to the Cunninghams. So this is really a big win. Think of it as service in tennis. If you can win a match on offense, or excuse me, a round on offense, that's going to set you up to win the rest of the match. All they need to do now is hold their defenses, and if they can pick up another win on offense, even better for them. Thank you guys for tuning into this, the first of my WGLNA non-broadcasted shoutcasts. Tune back in tomorrow when I take you guys to round 2 of the Cunninghams versus Hammertime. I'm going to do this for as many matches as you guys request, so hit me up on Twitter if there's anything you want to see. That's at ElevateZoid. Tune into the streams, keep watching the YouTube, follow and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for round 2.